May the Cox be with you. My name is Bybsie. In this video, we're gonna talk about WoW housing and everything we know about it. Dude, I feel like the information has been scattered all over the internet. I've been going through X, YouTubes, and Twitches, and everything else, like Blizzard forums and shit, just to get every single thing we know about housing. Because, you know what, maybe just like you, I wasn't lucky enough to get access to alpha, so I had to eat scraps, okay? I had to be looking closely at like the English is hard, man. Okay, yeah, I had to look. The reason I am so motivated and I was so kind of committed to it is because I'm fucking excited. I want to see housing in the game, and I do have all those notes. You can kind of see the notes here, right? Look, this is insane. This is just keynote. So of course I'm not gonna remember all of it, and even if I wanted to, I wouldn't want to. I'm just gonna go and fucking look at the screen sometimes and then talk to you about every single point. How about that? And by the way, what you're seeing here is me playing housing on PTR, okay? So just in case you were like already typing,
you said you're not playing alpha, mio.
I don't have alpha. This is PTR. They made housing available for 1 day. Wow, thank you so much, man. That's fucking awesome. And so I was playing this and I really... Man, I loved it. If you couldn't tell yet, then let me say it out loud. I loved it. I was amazing. But anyway, hey, first of all, let's set some stage, okay? I am a person who is playing WoW Classic. I mean, I used to play WoW Classic quite a lot. And after Classic, Wrath of the Lich King killed him myself. So very good, very good. That's like my peak of my life, basically, unfortunately. I'm your typical Classic Andy. And I did come back to WoW for Legion, which is now going through Legion Remix, as you guys might know, which is, you know, another topic. And after that, I dropped off and I never looked back. So now going back to WoW Midnight, that's something, man. Like I am trying to catch up with essentially 10 years of game development. I think we're gonna have to talk about history. We're gonna have to talk about accessing and owning the house. I have some stuff about Neighbourhoods, Endeavours, which is like monthly events for Neighbourhoods. How do we customize the house, decor, and some kind of feedback, questions, and concerns from the community. So let's start with the history. There are still some people that have a sour taste in their mouth after garrisons happened, after class hall happens. What do you call them? Class order halls. Yes, class order halls happened, and those warships in Battle for Azeroth, and you know, they were great. I mean, okay, they worked, and they were built for purpose, but the minute the expansion ended, they kind of faded away, like no one gave a fuck about them, because they were story locked. Why would you go to Garrison again now? There's literally no point. So people have this feeling or this kind of thinking about housing, that this is what's gonna happen to it as well. And I'm just gonna bust that myth right away. No, the housing is an evergreen content. It will be relevant through and through until the end of time, of course. Until WoW kills itself at some point, maybe. I don't know, because like I don't believe we're gonna ever get a WoW killer, to be honest. Like we had so many of them, never worked out. So this is something else, okay? This isn't like this. The housing loses relevance post-expansion or anything like it. You're gonna get your house, and that's yours to keep forever, because it isn't just like in Final Fantasy, you have to keep your subscription active, you have to keep paying the rent or whatever that was. No, like once you get the house, once you own the plot and the walls, that's it. It's yours. No one's gonna take that away from you. You can disconnect from WoW for 5 years, just like, I mean, I did for 10, for example, and I can come back and continue that journey like Bilbo Baggins with the bunch of dwarfs, okay? I think another point that is very appealing to me about housing is how it will, like, with vertical progression system. I don't know what's the word. Interchange? Like, you will have to go to old content to gain decorations. You have to go through raids to gain decorations. You have to go through achievements, which mean you have to go to dungeons and do quest lines and learn about lore and craft professions and all of that shit just to get those decorations. So if you're like me, I will want all the decorations. So of course, I will do all those achievements and other activities, which give me the items, right? I think this is the biggest downfall of vertically orientated games, MMORPGs. I mean, RPG by definition is vertical because you keep chasing that power, leaving everything else behind, which means there's never a reason to go back to the old content, to Old Zone, to Azeroth, to Elven Forest. Like, when was the last time you seen the princess? Probably in Classic, right? In retail, no one gives... You probably would ask an average Joe playing WoW retail, average Teme in Dalaran or somewhere, and like, do you know who the princess is or what the princess is? You could give him a hint as an animal, like, you know? And he'd be like, what the fuck is this? Like, do you mean my girlfriend? People don't know about old content, and that's where the richness of World of Warcraft is coming from. The story is just so fucking beautiful and so deep, and I feel like people are missing out a lot on it. Now they will have a reason to actually familiarize themselves with that story, with the old world. Before we move on to accessing and owning the house, getting it, I want to highlight it once again. Housing is not a treadmill. It's not a treadmill. It's a horizontally progressive system that is intertwined, see, that's a good word actually, with vertical progression and all the other activities in the game. It launches with the pre-patch on the 2nd December this year, 2025, and everyone who pre-ordered Midnight by then, or probably even after the pre-patch, to be honest, gets immediate access to the housing with everyone else that did the same, okay? When you log into the game for the first time after the pre-patch, depending whether you're a new player or a returning player, you have two different ways to approach this, but it all comes down to the quest, which is like a housing tutorial. It'd be, hey, do you want to go and see your house, mate? You get me, bruv? And you click, okay, sure. And there it is. You just fuck off to the Mage Tower in Stormwind, click the portal, and then there you are. And the only difference is that if you're a new player, you first have to go through the new player experience before that tutorial quest shows up on your screen. That's the only difference. We can now briefly mention people who don't have Midnight pre-ordered, and you will still be able to go to Neighbourhoods and see houses and just like walk around and shit, but you won't be able to own a house. Also, something I found very interesting is that people who didn't join factions can't enjoy housing. You have to be, either Alliance or Horde to actually do something about your house with your house. So,
Nope, neutrals cannot access player housing.
Sorry, if you leveled up that panda to max level by killing fucking boars or gathering wild bloom or whatever that was, you have no luck. Like, you won't be able to enjoy housing. You have to pledge your allegiance, I'm afraid, or stick to your principles and just continue without the house, be homeless, okay? It is what it is, sorry. Once you click that portal in Stormwind, I don't know what it is in Orgrimmar, but I did the Alliance side. If you click that portal, you go to this island where there are 50 available plots to get a house, and before you can do that, you have to complete the tutorial I mentioned, which involves optionally flying around this huge zone. It's massive. It's seriously like Elven Forest, I would say. It's huge. And that zone has 6 neighborhoods, and they are basically reminding me of those starting zones in WoW Classic, like Elven Forest, which I mentioned, Westfall, Duskwood, which is called Cemetery. It's basically all about the location, either next to the coast, in the middle of the forest, in some kind of gloomy cemetery area. You get the vibe. And Orgrimmar has, sorry, not Orgrimmar, the Horde has Ashara, the Durotar, and the coast again, that kind of vibe, okay? So whether you're like mountain person or a seacoast person or fucking secluded weirdo living in the middle of the forest 10 miles away from the closest civilization, you can be that too. Like, there's literally place for everyone, okay? By the way, I'm that weirdo. Yeah. When you go through that tutorial, all right, you finally get a house, and I think this it's very cute because you actually get a street address. My house was 39 Promised... What was it? Oh, it was 39 Promised Wave Harbor. And I hope that wave never comes. I like to have my house above the sea level, but it's the name, it's cute, and you can actually tell someone, hey, I live on this street, this is my house number. It's like a nice Easter egg. I don't know, hey, it makes me smile, okay? Shut up. And then by the end of it, you also get some kind of heartstone that teleports you back to your house wherever you are. It's not like an item in your bag, but it's part of the window that you spawn with H on your keyboard. That's like housing because it's H, you know. And there's button, boop, and it's like, and you're in your house. It's that simple, okay? So you don't have to even remember where the house is on the map, how to get there. You just click the button, poof, you get me like a wizard, didn't it? In terms of the number of houses, because some of you might be wanting to be greedy and shit, you can have one house per faction. We have 2 factions, okay? Neutrals don't count. You can have one house in Alliance, one house in Horde. However, those houses are shared in your entire warband. And if you're, again, classic player, okay, I got you. Warband is this new progression system. Instead of thinking about your account as a character, you think about your account as an account. And every character contributes to it, but it's linked together. If you earn an achievement on your main, every alt has that achievement. So your houses are account-wide, and if you have a house in the Alliance zone, you can go there as a horde. And no one's gonna stop you, no one's gonna kick you, okay? By the way, this is PT. You can see this is all broken. That's not my game, that's not my computer. It's actually just PTR, right? Being PTR and loading stuff. You can even move your house between different plots if they are available, because people will wanna, you know, buy those plots. So if you find a better plot than you have now, you can just move your house, and that's it. Like literally just boop, boop, done. Plus, hey, I will even say one more thing. You get a regrid timer. So if you're like, I don't like it, actually, return, just like with Amazon, you can fucking refund that shit and go back to your old place. It's awesome, man. It's very, again, it's supposed to be very forgiving, very welcoming, very fun, and it's exactly that. So there are very few limitations, really, and we'll get to limitations in a second, but that's about how far our knowledge goes with, you know, creating a house, owning a house, accessing it, okay? So let's move to those neighborhoods that I mentioned. I mentioned them, like when you go through the tutorial, you get ported to a neighborhood, a public one, because there are types. You have a public neighborhood and you have a private neighborhood. Public is public. Everyone goes there, that's it, okay? And of course, there's a limit. There's like 50 houses per zone. So of course, you will gonna get assigned to a public zone. It doesn't matter that, it doesn't mean that your friends will be in the same public zone, if that makes sense. Because if you want to be in the same zone with your friends, you have to create your own private neighborhood. Whether that's with your friends or guilds, these are separate, so you have like 3 types. That's up to you. The goal is that, again, you spend the time with whoever the fuck you want. If you want to show off your house to the public, you go for the public zone. If you want to keep your things private and isolated, you go for those 3 friends that you have on your friends list, and you make your own zone, okay? Up to you. Also, again, guilds can have their own zones, and those will scale with the number of members. So I don't think they're that much limited. I'm not sure if you're actually gonna get like layers of zones of 50 each, or will you get a big zone with, I don't know, 300 plots. I'm not so sure. I haven't looked into that. Actually, I haven't thought about it. But in any case, someone in comments will know. And of course, the benefit of having a private or guild-based zone neighborhood is you control all the permissions and names and eviction rules, all that kind of stuff. Whereas in public, they are like predefined by Blizzard, right? That's kind of in the name. I read a keyword on the screen and it just reminded me, dude, there's absolutely no PvP, okay, in those neighborhoods. Very, very strict about that and very clear about that. However, people already found a way to get on each other's nerves, and what they are doing is they are planting items in the neighborhood's plots. It's like throwing trash over the fence to your closest neighbor, and and that didn't go well, okay? It's so stupid. You go to your house and there's fucking trash on your floor, okay? Because someone was just a dick. It is what it is. Like, dude, like just like in real life, you don't choose your neighbors, okay? This is the same here. And also, it's a good place to say welcome to MMOs, okay? That's like peak of MMOs communities. Amazing. So, but that pretty much concludes our, what you call the neighborhoods. It's just, again, a bunch of zones with different sets of rules and central hub with vendors, NPCs. And yeah, and bunch of houses. That's really all there is to it. Now, something very interesting about neighborhoods is that Blizzard is holding regular events. I think they are on monthly basis, and they are called Endeavours. Very, very fancy word, okay? But essentially it means events. Yeah, it's just event. So what happens is that it's a neighborhood-based or neighborhood-isolated event where people that are part of that neighborhood, they share a goal and they contribute towards that goal together because as a return, they get rewards which impact the neighborhood, the way it looks, the way it behaves, the way options are available to the dwellers of that zone, okay? And the reason for those events is to keep every single neighborhood unique and different. Blizzard wants to keep every single neighborhood surprisingly different, surprising to visitors, surprising to dwellers, and so, as an idea is that those events will grant you things that will make the neighborhood unique. They will unlock NPCs, some extra decor vendors, there will be some visual changes available, that kind of stuff. However, one thing I will mention about those events that benefit you individually is that they grant you a new currency. Don't we all love currencies in games? That's like 101st currency in WoW, so who the fuck cares by this point, okay? You're gonna get favors. Okay, and favor is the currency that you use to upgrade your house, and you can upgrade them to host more items, more decorations, to be bigger, etc., etc. Okay, that's something you should be probably look forward to, because again, we'll get there, but just to give you a little spoiler, you can only have like 9 rooms to begin with. Like who the fuck would want to live in a house like that? Yeah, I only count 2, but hey, I'm a caveman, okay, it's fine, doesn't matter. And we already have a little bit of spoiler. Blizzard spoiled a few events, and one of those is Emerald Nightmare themed, so probably druids or night elves will enjoy that the most, I would imagine, at least the rewards when it comes to decorations. So by all means, do keep an eye out for Endeavours or events, like I don't know why does it have to be that fancy? I don't know, Endeavour. Shit, no one talks like that, man. Customizations, and this one is the most loaded of all chapters because you can fucking do everything with your house. It's like, I think the theme is, and this phrase has been repeated over and over, if you can dream it, you can build it. In a way, there's no limit to what you can do. And I've seen people having like garden houses, okay, having conservatories. I even saw someone stacking up like 100 dining tables, reaching Jesus, so he can dine with him, okay? When you approach your house, when you put it on the plot, anywhere, you can put it anywhere you like. You have 2 modes, basic and advanced. And you can kind of think about this in a way that basic is this 101 tutorial mode where items snap to the grid automatically. There's like collision detection and all of that. So it's very easy. You can probably decorate your house with your feet or nips if you'd like. I don't know, I never tried, but I might give it a go. However, for people who are willing to go an extra mile and need to actually break the rules or bend the rules at least, there is advanced mode, and advanced mode allows you to do all sorts of crazy stuff. I don't know if that's been already on the video, but there is a moment in which I take a dining table. Sorry, I was working with default loadout, so I keep bringing the same item, and I literally just like I pushed it into the wall, and I just had a little bit of it sticking out, and I treated that like a nightstand. All right, or just some kind of a little shelf on my way to bedroom where I put a fruit bowl on and some shit, okay? So you can, honestly, you can do whatever you want. Most items, they are like categorized between inside and outside, but they are rather flexible whether the item is actually internal or external. You can take a wall and just put it in your garden if you want. And you can have a dining chair and put it in your garden. No one will bat an eye, okay? So you do you. If we go outside of the house and you can edit it, right? So the building itself, it comes with those anchor points that you can click, and in the place of that anchor, you can attach a fixture, a chimney, a window, a balcony, or I don't know, something. I could change the size of the roof, not size, sorry, shape of the roof. So there are limits there. Think about it. Do you guys know when you were like customizing your dragon in Rostrum? Or whatever that fucking place was in Dragonflight and still is. You load up your dragon and you can just click a few parts of it to replace it with different, scales or horns and some shit, right? think about the same system for the house itself. We're not talking about the garden. We're not talking about the plot. We're not talking about the inside. We're talking about the structure of the building, okay? It comes with predefined slots and fixtures that you can attach. There are extra customizations, just like with the dragons, about the color and textures, etc. But that's about it. I also think, just thinking about it and talking about it, I remembered the same applied to walls inside. You could have different themed walls, like elven, human, and something else, but like the wallpaper, the texture on the wall and on the floor would be predefined. You couldn't just draw a dick on it. Okay, it wasn't possible. Shame. But I think what I found the most disappointing, but that's because I like to break games. The way I play games, I try to test their limits. And so one of the limits that we have in the housing system is number of items that you can put inside, and that limit is 300 by default. Now, don't think of that limit as one-to-one. So let's say you put a table, that's 1 point. Okay, you put a flower in a pot, that's 1 point. No, every item, think about it like a budget. You have budget of 300 points, and every item takes a different number of points out of that budget. So I don't know exactly like how many furniture you can put inside, but there's an upper limit that you can increase with those favors that you get from events. Okay, quite simple, and it goes all the way up. Wait, I have the number here. It goes all the way up to 825 points. Which is pretty much 3 times what you are starting with. Also, there are 2 other limitations: number of rooms, and I think actually rooms are 1-to-1, right? If you put a room, that's 1 point, and you can have 9 rooms to begin with, and then it goes up all the way to 24. I've actually tried to build the longest house possible, and I had the core of the house, and I joined 8 hallways adjacent to each other, right? I just joined them and created this fucking long hallway. I had to use mount to get to the other side because halfway there I was bored. So I can't even imagine what it's like to have 23 of those. Crazy. But yeah, again, this is my brain being stupid. Okay, it's just the way it is. And final limitation is about fixtures. Now, I haven't found an exact definition of what a fixture is, what's the difference between an armchair and a bowl of fruit. I'm not sure, but I would imagine fixtures are exactly those small, tiny decorations or functional items for some reason. I don't know. For example, a candle stand, okay, or some kind of bowl of fruit, or maybe a mug, something like this. You can have up to 5,000 of those. It begs the question, what about performance of the game? If you guys played Dune Awakening, you had very strict limits, especially when it came to lighting, because if you put in too many light sources in the game, your GPU will be like, kill me, I don't wanna. So how are they gonna handle it here? I got no clue, man. But I'll let them do their job. Okay, it's fine. I'm not questioning. I'm just a concerned citizen. All right. Oh, I'm just adding rooms. You see, you click the encore, you click the room, and that's gonna just, there you go. It's just gonna attach, and so you can, branch out from there. Going back to editing the decorations, the individual items, you just rotate, enlarge, scale, shrink. So someone asked me, can you have a house for gnomes? And I was like, fuck yeah, amazing. You can literally, look, you could technically have a wall, like flip it so it's flat, and create this artificial floor. So it doesn't feel as high, right? So you just trim the house size in half, the height of it in half, and then shrink everything else to proportions. Like, for example, take this double bed for human, just half it. Just shrink it down and make it like a dollhouse, essentially. I think that fact of bending the rules is the most appealing, because I've done the same in New World, to the point my game was just so fucking lagging. It was crashing all the time. Final part of this video, big damage. Do you know how big damage? That kind of big damage. Amazing. Bipfu. So decorations themselves, because we've been talking about structures and editing and all that kind of shit. Decorations themselves, so if you're talking about the exactly candle stand, a fucking picture, right? If we're talking about this, there are 3 ranks. We have commodities, investments, and trophies. So if you think about those labels, they kind of hint at what they are. For example, commodities, that will be your rug, your chair, your door, something like basic and obvious. And if you think about trophies, that'd be like Onyxia's head. because that's a trophy from killing the boss, a great boss, by the way. So, by the way, go and kill her if you want to head for the house. Good idea to do it now, you know? Again, you can resize, you can place the thing. Look what I did. I literally just shoved that desk into the wall, the dining table. It's amazing, man. It's just so... It's so fucking good, dude. I love this. You're gonna get all sorts of stuff like floors, walls, ceiling, furniture, doors, stairs, toys, gear, trophies, profession stations even. Yes, you can craft in the house. I looked it up the other day. At least Grok told me that. Okay, look, blame it on Grok, all right? He's the brain here. I'm just repeating it. There is 1,800 items in the game. There will be once that launches. 1,800 items. Minecraft to this day only has launched 1,600 items, including all variations. So you can imagine how many options you've got to come up with something amazing in here. I can't wait. It's crazy stuff. And the good part is all decorations are account wide, so you don't have to worry about, thanks to the warband system, you don't have to worry about alt being, at the start of the journey. It's just gonna have access to every single item you've obtained as an account. The reason why I keep saying, I mentioned that I keep saying dining room, chair, etc., because that's all I had when I tried the game on PTR, and this is the basic loadout that you have, but very quickly when you walk around, you will find vendors that sell stuff for actual gold. And then, of course, when the game launches, they will retrospectively apply all the items that you've gained from achievements to your character, so you won't be, starting afresh, really. So, for example, again, going back to Onyxia's head, I killed Onyxia. I will get her head immediately when I log in on the 2nd of December. So if you want to have some kind of head start on the decorations, you can go and watch my other video that I made about add-ons. Sorry, something in my eye. Probably you. Get out. Get out. And in there, I explain add-ons that are already available that tell you what to do in the game now to proactively obtain items before midnight pre-patch hits our PCs later in the year, right? Also, there is a great website that I didn't mention in this video. It's called completionism.com. Completionism.com. My favorite word, completionism. Jesus. So what you do on that website is you pull your character either via Battle.net authorization, like you sign in with your Battle.net account, or you just type in your character's name. You don't have to share your account at all to use that, and it will pull everything you've got on the character, and on the left-hand side you can mark show only those that award housing decorations, and you'll have a full list of things that are doing exactly that. So you can just log in right after that and just do them. Also, I will just briefly mention, as I am recording this video, Legion Remix is active, and Legion Remix has unique decoration items. My cat is talking. Cat, what the fuck, man? What? So what you can do, you can play Legion and get those decorations right now. Plus, do not forget class order halls. If you level up your class to level 80, you're gonna get a house decorations relevant for that class. So, for example, if you ever dreamt of having a house for a druid, you better fucking level that druid, man, right now. And also, I briefly mentioned crafting stations. You will have them in your house, so you don't have to go to Dalaran or Stormwind or whatever to craft anything. Plus, they are adding something new called lumber. Lumber is a material used for building items for your house, crafting decorations, to say accurately. And there's no house decoration specific profession. For example, in Final Fantasy XIV, you have carpenters, right? We don't have that in WoW. We just have lumber material, which is universal for every profession, which means anyone, literally any profession can contribute and create unique items for the house, which is even better when I say that they can be traded and sold on auction house. You'll have entire fucking player economy devoted to trading those decorations, which is absolutely fantastic, okay? And finally, Wisty, you ready for finally? Hey, you'll be able to color those decorations. Yep, another way to customize those. There will be color pigments that you can extract from herbs, and that way you can make your bed pillow fucking red or blue or whatever, like up to you, right? So that's pretty much all about the decors that I know, that I've learned. It's still quite a lot. And now it's time for feedback, for questions. Overall feedback about housing was extremely positive. It's just insane. But something I don't think anyone have ever mentioned on the internet is that when you think about WoW housing, it's a very social experience. And when you pull up, for example, Bartle's taxonomy of players, WoW attracts lots of achievers. They play endgame, very hardcore endgame, Mythic Plus dungeons, raids, etc. And for example, Final Fantasy clears WoW when it comes to socializers, which is the group that's sits in Limsa Lominsa and role plays as bunnies and some shit, okay? Like papaya, papaya. I think housing will bring social focus again to the game, which is amazing. I absolutely love that, and I am maybe more of an achiever than socializer. However, there are days when I just want to fucking chill. In short, housing is everything that we hoped for. It really is. And we, of course, want more styles, more themes. For example, I've been thinking, how cool would it be if we had Iron Forge, some kind of Iron Forge? Like if we had dwarves that can have houses inside the mountain. That'd be fucking amazing, man. And of course, community has some kind of unanswered questions like, can you visit houses offline? What about gardening, music? What about the depth of the nature? For example, can you chop down the tree? Can you trim the fence? That kind of shit. We don't have much details about evicting players that are inactive or just bad. We don't know if there will be any holiday themes. So for example, there's Christmas time and you get to put snow on your roof, something like that. I don't know. So there's plenty of questions, plenty of feedback, but that's about all it's still in my eye. What is this? That's all I managed to gather. I don't have anything else. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, please consider joining Discord. That's where we continue conversations like those. Consider subscribing, liking if this is your stuff. And me and Wisse, we'll see you in the other video, all right? Thank you so much. Stay Bybsie, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye. Give him a kiss. There you go. You can't take shower now. I'm telling you. It's gonna wash off.
Subscribe.